Hey guys, this is Harry and Ralph from Super Fun Game Review Podcast Go.
We are a video game podcast that releases content every Sunday, alternating between full game reviews and general gaming conversation.
Our reviews include in-depth analysis on plot, audio, graphics, and gameplay. We throw in little-known facts on the game development. We provide uncomfortable sexual tension, harassment towards each other while being analytical about the game of the week, and endless, poorly executed impersonation.
Find us on iTunes, Google Play, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts. Super Fun Game Review Podcast Go, where sensitivity is a foreign concept.
Welcome, everybody, to WTR WrestleTalk Radio. This is the show that brings to you the highlights from all things wrestling and sports entertainment. From WWE to TNA, NXT, ROH, and so much more, WTR is here to focus on what makes wrestling so damn entertaining and fun to watch. We are live from Studio 1 of the WCSN, the Windy City Sports Network. This is WTR WrestleTalk Radio.
Welcome, everybody. WTR, 1 minute late. That is perfect timing. And this is episode 22 of WrestleTalk Radio. Not a busy wrestling week, but we still are going to have a lot of stuff to talk about. And with me to my right is Wild Bill.
What's up, everybody?
Hold on 1 second. All right, you're good to go. No, we're still getting static on here. All right. Cope with us, guys, in a little bit, and we will be good to go. But if you guys are having issues hearing us, let us know. We will be good. All right. Go with it, Bill.
Hello?
All right. Sounds a little better. Or move it around. No. All right. Well, let's go. It'll go from there. Muffled again. Hip hop or hop hop. That's what hop hop said. How am I sounding, hop hop? Am I sounding good? Tell me if I sound good, hop hop. All right, you go.
Hello.
It's muffled again. All right, we'll see what's going to happen. It should open it up soon. If not, then we'll switch sides again. And then we'll go from there. But in any case, guys, we're going to keep going with it. Mr. Tom Chris is here, and we are looking pretty solid. Who has an echo? Does Wild Bill have an echo, or I have an echo? No one is saying anything. All right, well, we're going to go with it for right now, then we'll see what happens. All right, go with it, Bill.
Hello.
Oh, you're sounding good on my end. You're sounding pretty solid. So, any case, we're going to go with it, and we'll see what happens. We'll go from there. Before we keep going on, though, I want to make sure we go after social media. So, on social media, guys, so you guys can know where you guys can find us, where you guys can catch us, and so on and so forth. So, obviously, here on YouTube, first and foremost, you can actually catch us here. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. The more we can get on the YouTube channel to interact with us in our chat rooms, that would be fantastic. So just make sure you spread the word for us, get people on there so we can run with the YouTube channel. It's a good asset to have for interactions with our fans. Also, where can you hear us? You can hear us on iTunes, Stitcher Radio, TuneIn Radio, Podbean, Overcast, Castbox, the podcast app, Google Play. We post all of our social media on we post all our podcasts and our shows on our social media websites, and that's at Twitter, Facebook, and not on Instagram, but we also have an Instagram page, and that's all at WCSN 312, and you guys can catch us there. Follow us on Twitter, like us on Facebook, and then follow us also on Instagram as well. What else do we got other than that? We've got a new Patreon page. So if you guys can go on our Patreon page and follow us there as well, that would be very well appreciated. So the Patreon page just went up about last week, I believe. So follow us there. I hope you guys like the new setup with a microphone so you guys can actually see me here. And it opens it up, I think, a little bit better here as well, too. Right, Bill?
Of course it does.
All right. So let me set your volume up a little bit. All right, go for it.
Hello.
All right, so hopefully that's a little bit louder for right now. Try moving the bottom here a little bit too until we finally free it up, and then we'll go from there. It was working before. I don't know what happened afterwards, and mine's still getting some static here as well too. So the cable's got to go garbage for the next show. So no more of this stuff, and we'll get with cable. So anyways, going on with wrestling, guys, so that we can start jumping into it. Not much happened. You got Raw that went down, SmackDown. Today is NXT, right?
Correct.
205 Live was yesterday, I believe.
Right, last night.
So we got 205 Live that happened last night. I didn't see 205 Live. I don't know if you actually saw it.
The matches are getting better.
Wow. Who didn't they? Someone preview too, or someone premiered? Murphy?
Andrews. Murphy or Andrews or whatever.
I thought it was something Murphy that premiered or something like that. So that's actually pretty interesting too. And then was Strong on there yesterday?
No.
He wasn't on there?
No.
And then who else did we have on there? I think that's it. Everyone else is normal, but we'll see what happens, like we said in the last show, about some of these NXT stars coming back up and stuff. That's going to be real interesting. And then we're going to go a little bit about both pay-per-views. So we're going to talk about both the FastLane and Elimination Chamber. Is Elimination Chamber coming up this weekend or next weekend? I think it's next weekend. All right, so we've got two. It's going to be in 2 weekends from now. And then we'll go from there. This weekend's the All-Star weekend. That's the big one for us. So what else is there? Do you want to go over news first before we go into the Raw and stuff?
Let's go over the TV shows first.
All right, so Raw. It opened up pretty
Solid.
yeah, and I liked, so it opened up with Ms. Cena and they were doing their talking skit. I liked Miz's work.
Yep.
I didn't like what's his name's work though.
We're getting sick of it, I think.
Yeah, so Cena's whole gig was sort of, I didn't like it. It was bad, but I really liked the Miz's work, and then that whole thing where whoever won would have been.
Whoever loses is one in.
Yeah, so whoever loses would be the first one in, and then we know now it's going to be
Miz number 1.
So how do you think that's going to go down now? So who's going to go in number 2? What do you think?
Cena.
So you think it's going to start out with Miz and Cena again?
Finished, yeah.
Huh. And then we know Elias is going to be last. So whoever's, it's going to be either Reigns or Strowman. And then, oh, that's pretty interesting. So I forgot Elimination Chamber. When you get counted, you're out.
Right.
And it's whoever the last man standing is. So it's not if you pin him, you win.
No, it's elimination. So it's almost like a battle royal, process of elimination.
So so they have to pin the guy and everything. So I don't know. I think they might put Strowman in 2.
It's got to go too long. I don't think he can go that long.
Yeah, you're right. He's a bigger guy, so you might have to go Cena and count him out quicker.
You've got to put guys at the beginning that you know can last 30, 40 minutes. So the Miz, Cena, Rollins, Balor, those are the guys you can get quality 30, 40 minutes out of.
Yeah, and I do like the fact, and we'll get more into it, of Seth Rollins finally got involved somehow, because we were talking about how they just dumped him in the middle of the card and nothing's happening with him. And then I was like, all right, at least they're doing something with him. So I don't know. That might be also with some of the stuff they did on SmackDown associated with the ratings, I think.
Could be. I think just Rollins was just by default now. Jordan gets hurt. They've got nothing for him to do. Let's throw him in there for right now. You can't keep the guy off the cards.
True, and there's really nothing for him to do, so they had to do something with him. But I mean, I'm just glad they finally got Rollins in there and in some kind of card, and then we can still at least see him and see what he's going to do. I'm still with you though, where I think Reigns is going to probably end up winning that though. But Nonetheless, I think Miz did some good mic work, great mic work, in my opinion. The match I thought went too long.
Well, you got to remember, I watched it again yesterday. Opening segment to the pin was 21 minutes.
Yeah, I mean, I tuned off. I ended up going elsewhere and doing something else. But I just thought that it went a little too long. I didn't like how long it went. I think that they could have done it a little bit quicker and added some more people other time. I don't know what story they were trying to tell either in it, so it was sort of a mixed bag and stuff.
Well, at least it did prove that the Miz can hold his own with Cena on the mic, and then they got in the ring, and it wasn't that bad of a match, to tell you the truth.
No, the match was good. It was just too long.
It was too long, correct.
But nonetheless, and then the next match, I'm starting to. What do you think about this whole Good Brother nerd thing? It is one of the worst. And like, what are they trying to do? Are they heels or are they faces?
I think they're waiting to decide what they're going to do with Finn Balor to piggyback them.
On what's going to happen with those guys, because it's like they were heels, then they sort of were faces, then it's just like you don't know what's going on. But it was the Good Brothers and the Revival. I'm glad they gave the Revival the win. But I again, that whole nerd gimmick, I think they have to dump that.
How do they come out with leather, the awesome music, and then they've got the nerd gimmick going? It just makes absolutely no sense.
Yeah, and how they're making them look like badasses, and then they turn around and it's just like they're not. I don't know. I don't get that whole gimmick, but I'm glad they finally gave something to the Revival. I just hope that they end up doing something with the Revival besides this, which I think they will, hopefully. I don't know. Do you think they're ever going to put the straps on them?
I think they do.
Eventually.
I think they beat the bar for the belts.
And they're one of the teams that I think needs the straps. Like, I always say that some people need the strap. Some people just don't need it. It's not going to get them to the next level.
They have to get the belts.
Yeah, definitely.
And the Sheamus, Cesaro thing is starting to run its course as well.
Yeah. So we'll see what happens with that. But Revival, Good Brothers, both of them were. It was actually, the match wasn't that great. I didn't like it too much. But it is what it is. Revival at least won, so they were trying to move those guys forward, and then. We'll see where they put them, and like you said, if they beat the bar. After that, they ended up going into a Rollins segment where Rollins and I think it was Angle were having a skit.
Kurt Angle came out first to announce that he's hoping that everybody understands that his kid is hurt, and he's hoping for well wishes. And then that's when Rollins came out and said, "I want my spot."
And we ended up getting Seth Rollins added to the Elimination Chamber, and once Rollins got added to the chamber at that point, or not at the chamber, at the main event,
match, right?
And then they said whoever pinned or whoever won the main event would end up going
into the chamber as the last person.
Yeah, and then obviously the main event was Apollo Crews, Bray, Woken, Matt Hardy,
Rollins and
Balor,
and Finn Balor.
So at that point, I know last week we were both on the same page of, we thought Finn was we knew Finn was going to win it. And there was actually a leak that happened, and it was put out on
the promotional poster for the,
Yeah, and then they had Finn in there.
Right.
Did they have Seth on there?
No.
So Seth wasn't on there.
This is all because of the injury. I don't think that he was ever intended to be into this until Jason Jordan got injured.
And then they swung it around and put him in. So the moment they added Seth Rollins, I knew something was going to happen. Some kind of sway was going to happen. And then eventually, obviously, it happened. And it was that, which I guess it was okay, but sort of dumb, the double tag or the double count and what have you.
It's just too many people to have into that chamber again. I just don't understand it.
Yeah. All right. So we got, you guys should be hearing us good now. So I apologize for the first 15 minutes, but we finally got Wild Bill and mine working, so we should be looking pretty solid there. So anyways, the Rollins thing happened. Angle told him he was going to go into the main event. Whoever wins goes from there. Then they ended up doing the Bayley versus Banks, which I thought was a great match.
They always have good matches, though.
And what do you so after watching this match, I'm thinking to myself, with Elimination Chamber as the female one, they're not going to give it to neither one of them too.
No.
But they're such a main character. You have to do something with them.
I feel Bailey heel turn.
You think Bailey? I think it's going to be Sasha.
Sasha's already been a heel. I think it's time for Bailey. I think Bailey turns heel.
She's never been a heel though. That's
right.
going to be hard for her.
She's going to learn.
That's why I thought they were going to go Sasha, because in that way, going into WrestleMania, it's a sure thing.
Well, it's Bailey Sasha probably for WrestleMania, right?
You can turn it though for Bailey just to say that she's pissed that she never got her chance or her moment.
She's being looked over. She didn't get what she wanted. There's a million things you can do with either one of them, but I smell Bailey heel turn.
Nonetheless, one of them are going to go heel turn.
Right.
I don't know which one, but one of them is going to go end up heel turn, and then they're going to have a whole program. I don't know if it's going to be at Mania or what have you, but
you can live with that because their matches
they're good,
are decent.
Yes, and I can watch those matches.
Mm-hmm.
I'm impressed. I know Dusty Rhodes was a big fan of Bailey's, and no one else is. Well, Hunter is a little bit,
right?
But I know Vince is not sold on Bailey at all. So that's a little we'll see what happens.
Which is shocking considering the way he's running things now. That she's the perfect person for all the little 8 to 15-year-olds or whatever, right?
I'm trying to think who else female wise. I mean, Charlotte. Not really.
That's a different type of fan, though.
Yeah. I don't know. There's really no other solid females. I don't know what Mickie James is still doing there.
Teaching the girls how to work.
She needs to eventually just disappear.
She came back to. I'm convinced. We talked about Cassius Ohno being in NXT
just to teach guys speed and stuff.
Speed, ring position, where the camera is to make sure they're in the right spot all the time. She's there to teach the girls how to do their thing.
Yeah. So we are really quick. If Mr. Chris is out there, or Hop, if you guys can see us or hear us, let us know really quick if you guys can hear us fine now. Seems like everything's good on our end now, and that both are working, so we should be good. Next, when you go into it, right after that match, it was James Bliss versus DeVille and Rose, and that's the one where Rose pins James. So that to me was a get up and go to the bathroom match.
Exactly. Who cares?
Yeah, I didn't even care what was happening on that one. Then was your favorite segment, which I thought was I don't understand why they even did this. You're making what are your thoughts on that segment?
That's the stupidest thing I've ever seen in my life. How can people possibly be sitting in a room? Somebody presents this to the other people. One guy might say, okay, but explain to me how everybody comes to an agreement that, yes, we agree to have this segment, and have the guy that 2 weeks ago flipped over a set, 3 weeks ago flipped over a semi, 4 weeks ago flipped over a whole lighting structure, and now he's going to show up and play the guitar.
So this guy, you're building him up to be a beast,
right?
You're making him unstoppable. Honestly, in a way, even Brock Lesnar can't stop him because they always go no contest or disqualification. And then you have this guy show up with a guitar. It's like he's mimicking, and the way he was talking was weird. It's just you're the guy who roars all the time. You're like, roar, and you're gonna come out there and be like, yeah, what was he singing or something? I don't even remember. I was just looking at it I can't believe they're actually. But
how is it possible that that's even allowed to be put on? You're gonna tell me Big John Studd, any of those guys, if they would have gone up to him and told him to do this, he would have been like, are you guys fucking serious?
Why did Vince allow it?
I'm telling you, the guy's lost touch. You can tell anything that happens like that, stinks of Vince McMahon.
So my question is Triple H at Raw's usually?
Has to be.
And is he he's at Gorilla, obviously, position?
Right.
So how is he not the one going to Vince and telling Vince, dude, or he just doesn't want to piss the old man off?
No, because right now it's still anything that gets done has to go through Vince. I'm convinced. I mean, if Triple H said okay to that, then the wrestling business is in a lot worse shape going forward than we think it is.
Definitely. I agree with that one. But
because we got bigger problems than just matches and stuff. If this is what, we'll talk about SmackDown later with the pancakes.
Yeah.
But we can isolate two instances.
My daughter thought that was an awesome segment.
No, my daughter said it was stupid. So when she says that it's stupid, now you got problems.
She loves pancakes too. But that was a ridiculous segment. I think in a way it did worse for Strowman, at least to the the smart fan.
Right.
I think it hurt Strowman's image. For the kids, I don't think it did, but for the smart fan, I think it hurt Strowman's image overall. And I just think it's a segment that should have never happened. They should have like not even put it on air. After that was done, you ended up going with Reigns versus Sheamus, and Reigns beat him. And that whole segment they had in the back with it, who was it? Rollins. It was the bar with Rollins and Reigns, and how Reigns punked out Sheamus. I was like, how? Like, come on, man. They're just trying to push Roman so hard, and that's what the fans don't like.
But they have no choice right now. This is the make or break for Roman Reigns. If they can't get him over right now, going into WrestleMania, what are they going to do afterwards?
Unless they're going to have to turn him heel.
That's what I've been saying for a while, but he's got to get the belt first.
But they don't want to, because I think the younger fan loves Roman Reigns. There's kids I know that my friends' kids that are like 5, 6 years old, and then they're sitting here just doing this all day with. I mean, the small kids love him. It's the smart fan that doesn't like him, because we know he came from. He just walked right into the industry, and they threw him at a main event status. Right. And we're like, come on, man. There's guys that are wrestling for 20 years, 15 to 10 years before they make it into main event level. And then they're throwing this guy right in, and it's like you're being fed a golden spoon. Here you go. And that's why the smart fan doesn't like him, because he hasn't been through all that.
But he's not that bad of a wrestler, right?
I don't think he's that good.
He's okay. He does what he needs to do.
He's better than Hogan.
Well, come on. Me and you are better than Hogan. Let's not kid ourselves right now. You know,
I don't know if he's.
Hogan was never given kudos for being a good wrestler, right?
Never. He was a good.
He was good. He was the best self promoter.
I wouldn't even say mic worker.
For the time.
For that time, he was.
For that time, and
he
for
was
that
an entertainer, though, because of the things he did.
But for that time, he was the best.
Yeah, for that time.
Let's not kid ourselves. We can say all we want about him being in the ring or whatever, and that there's no comparison to him and Ric Flair. You got a different promo. Flair's promo was to make sure that you wanted to go see the match, because there was a good possibility that the other guy might beat you. Hogan's promo was all about Hulk Hogan.
Yeah.
Okay. So now Roman Reigns, he's okay as a wrestler.
His mic work sucks.
Right. But it doesn't help that he's constantly being booed. So at some point in time, unless you've got, how thin can your skin be, or how thick can your skin be, that you're not going to facially express the resentment for those people booing you.
Yeah.
Cena don't give a fuck anymore. He doesn't care. He loves it.
It's part of his
right.
Whole
that's the whole thing now.
That's
boo me all you want, but you came here to see me.
And it's true in a way.
And okay.
What I wanted to say with Cena too that I forgot is, and I'll give the guy a lot of credit. I mean, at the end of the day, Cena is a good wrestler.
Correct. But he's also a product of who he's wrestling with.
True. But at the end, I mean, he just does so much outside of the ring too. Did you notice how he ran out there at the end of the match to that one
sick kid?
That was nice.
Right.
And it's just like stuff like that. It's just like it's cool. Now that could have been set up. I know, just to make Cena
from
look
Make
good.
a Wish. They said,
yeah, but so that's fine. But at the end of the day, he's still doing things like that, and that means a lot. So I mean, I give the guy a lot of respect for doing stuff.
And that's probably why you'll never turn him heel.
You can't. I mean, at that point, I mean, that's like saying, I don't want to say it. If my daughter's watching, we'll kill it. But that's like turning around and, Hogan did turn heel.
Right, but that's because it got to the point that Hogan was being booed nonstop.
Yeah.
He had lost his charm. He went over there. He was being booed
Well, that's
pretty
because
bad.
at that time, WCW had the smart fan.
Right, and, you read the story about how the NWO was formed. That was a money machine, and Hogan knew that he better get on that thing, otherwise he's going to be left off. Right. So it wasn't just so much that Hogan wanted to turn heel; that he saw massive dollar signs with what was happening.
So they ended up then going into Reigns and Sheamus, and they ended up doing the whole, which ended up being a 5-man: Balor, Cruz, Bray, Woken, and Rollins. Overall, it was actually an exciting match.
It was good.
That could have been a pay-per-view match.
Mm-hmm.
That's how good I think that match was. So the match was actually pretty good, and it ended up with Finn Balor and Seth Rollins pinning Bray Wyatt, and then all of a sudden the next day, they didn't announce it that day. The next day, Kurt Angle in the morning announced on WWE.com that because the both of them pinned him, that the both of them are going to go into Elimination Chamber, which makes it a 7-man Elimination Chamber. So that's going to be pretty interesting. Did they have 5 pods in there before?
One person starts with 5 pods.
With 5 pods. Right. So now they're going to have to put 6.
Either that or do 2 people start. Keep the 5 pods and have 2 people start.
Yeah, I guess, and then just walk it around from there.
Right.
Yeah, we can see how I mean, I think it's with the amount of talent now that's in that Elimination Chamber match, I'm hoping it's a good match.
It should be a good match, but we're going to eliminate the blood, which an Elimination Chamber should have. Right? Something, you need that aspect of it, but they won't allow it.
Yeah, but because Vince is still PG.
I know, but it's so stupid because USA, the network that shows this program, right after Raw would put the shooter on about assassinating people and all this stuff.
Yeah, but I think it's just Vince and the product.
The commercials are from Activision and all that talk about Call of Duty and how you need a little bit of something to juice up the program, at least a pay-per-view.
Not a lot of people do blood anymore, though.
I know, but at least. So you're going to tell me that 3 years ago you bounce a guy's head off of a post, and the guy's bleeding like a stuck pig, and now miraculously their skin is so well moisturized that the head bounces off and comes off clean with not even a bruise or nothing. Come on.
No, and I mean, I know the blood we do see now is all accident,
right?
But you can't. Well, no, I thought Randy Orton and Brock Lesnar, that match, that was, I think, who bladed who?
They did, and I think it was done by a punch, a knuckle to the head.
Well, who was it? Randy to Brock?
Yes.
And then they stopped the match?
No, it was the other way around. Brock to Orton, wasn't it? Either which way, somebody bled.
But I heard they spoke about it and they wanted to do it.
Well,
and then I heard Vince got
crazy
pissed afterwards.
Right,
yeah,
exactly.
So I heard that eventually what happened was whatever happened, one of them said, "Yeah, go ahead and just cut me open." And then whatever happened, and then Vince just got pissed off at the end.
But if you're going to have a pay-per-view, I understand not doing it on USA or whatever, but if they want to keep some semblance of reality or something to like a little wow factor, it's it's a cage with glass pods in it. People are going to be slammed into those things, and you're going to tell me that nobody's going to get cut?
They should.
Right. Make it look at least some
Did
semblance.
Did anyone bleed on NXT War Games?
No. Oh, wait.
No, that one guy did, but it was accidental.
The big guy,
no, not the big guy, but the guy from Sanity with the beard. I forget
that guy.
But that was accidental, I think.
And I think it was on the arm and the head.
Yeah, that was accidental. That was, I think, from the garbage can because of the points at the end after he smashed it.
Right.
All right, so that was Raw. Overall, I didn't think Raw did really anything except for the whole Miz Cena, who was going to go number 1, and then including Finn and Seth into the main event.
Right.
Other than that, I don't think they really did much. So they've got a lot on their plate, in my opinion, on next Monday.
It was a good start and a good finish, and just sloppiness in the middle.
Shit in the middle.
Right.
So Elimination Chamber, at least from what we know, set in the books. You have, and this is the other thing, Ronda Rousey's being advertised to go there, and she's signing her Raw contract. Like, why is she going to Raw?
Again,
didn't we think maybe? Well, no, you're thinking it's going to be Rock, Rousey, Steph, Triple H.
Correct. I'm going to stick to that one.
And I was thinking they were going to do Rousey, Charlotte.
You can't put her in the ring that fast. There's no way. Or you know what? How about Stephanie Ronda Rousey?
Well, now that they said though that she's going to come to Elimination Chamber, I'm really starting to think that that's going to, what you said is going to happen, because I'm starting to think that obviously Stephanie's going to be in the ring when she's signing that contract, and potentially Triple H, and then all of a sudden she may hurt Stephanie. I don't think Rock will come back, but then at that point, Triple H might try to attack her.
You're not going to put her in that high profile of a thing and just let her go out there by herself. It's not going to happen.
Well, no, she might just like throw a punch at Stephanie.
No, I'm talking about for WrestleMania.
Oh.
She's going to be at WrestleMania, and she's going to be put somewhere.
But The Rock is going to do all the work.
Okay, but still.
So, I mean, I think eventually that's what's going to happen there. And then in the next like month or two, that's where I think you'll maybe see The Rock show up after a month or something or what have you to set it up and then tell Triple H and Stephanie that, hey, me and Rousey versus you two at WrestleMania. And then it's going to go. And in a way, you need that star power because right now you don't have any star power from the outside.
We've been talking about that. Not only that, but tell me one match that you can't wait to see other than we talked about this last week. AJ Nakamura.
And that might change.
Right. But they better not. I'm telling you right now, they better not. If they change that.
Where's Pete Rose? Why can't he come back?
Or the San Diego Chicken?
Yeah, I just want to see Pete Rose, man. And bring Kane back. That should be like an Undertaker tradition. Like Pete Rose and Kane. They should just do that all the time. Man, why can't the audio always be like this? This is good. It's like heaven. I think it is that, but well, that's a different conversation. So Rousey is going to come to Elimination Chamber, and she's going to sign her contract. We'll see if it's to set up the whole for. Okay, so hop. No, that's not right. Impossible. I got word for no. Okay, so overall, Rousey is going to be signing. Then you've got the whole Elimination Chambers and men's match, which is Miz, Cena, Strowman, Elias, Roman, Finn, Rollins. You're still stuck on Reigns.
Reigns, Lesnar at WrestleMania.
And I think that's what's going to go down. And then you've got the Elimination Chamber women, which is going to be Bliss, Banks, Bayley, Rose, and James, and DeVille. Banks and Bayley are going to cross themselves out because that's going to be one of them heel turn, and that'll rule them out. I think it's really going to go like Rose DeVille, James Bliss, because that's how James or Bliss is trying to hook up with James or something,
right? To be her best friend. Now.
I don't know. I think Bliss keeps it.
I say too. I said that last week as well. That I think Alexa Bliss goes into WrestleMania with the belt.
Yeah, because I think what's going to end up happening in the next match which is Asuka and Jax. I think Jax somehow wins. Now I don't think she clean pins her.
There's no way.
It's going to be some kind of like disqualification or something. But I think Jax wins, which will then end up making it into a three-way. Then I think it's going to be Bliss, Asuka, and Jax.
Jax, correct.
So then that way, Bliss in a way can pin Jax. Asuka still didn't lose.
I think Asuka gets the belt.
Yeah, and they can do that as well too, and just put the strap on Asuka.
It's time. Bliss has had it.
And have a run with it.
I think it's time for Asuka to get the belt. They're not going to build her up for a year now and then have her not win the belt.
And that's going to happen at Mania, you think?
Correct.
All right. So you think Jax is going to do something with a disqualification so she gets into WrestleMania?
It's not. Asuka's not going to get pinned clean.
Yeah, it's going to be some kind of disqualification.
Right.
Or Asuka doesn't have anyone that she's cool with that might come in.
No.
Yeah, they'll figure some way to swerve it. Now the three rumored matches are, and I don't know if this is going to be pre-show or what have you, which I think this would be good. The Bar versus the Revival versus the Good Brothers, three-way. And I hope they give it to Revival. I would love to see a Revival and the Bar match. That wouldn't be a bad match to watch either.
Not at all.
So you've got that, and then you've got, of course, they're going to do Hardy and Bray again.
Right.
But there's not a huge build for Hardy and Bray for Elimination Chamber. And when is someone did put out a whole thing about Brother Nero and that he's going to come back as Brother Nero. And he's starting to talk about the seven deities. So is the introduction of what is that?
The drone.
What's the drone called? Vanguard 1.
Vanguard 1.
So is that the introduction of Vanguard 1 at Elimination Chamber? And then maybe Brother Nero will be the surprise for Mania. Maybe they fight at Mania, and then all of a sudden Brother Nero comes in and has Matt Hardy win.
But don't you think it would have been better if they would have sandbagged this a little bit instead of having them wrestle already 3 or 4 times?
Yeah.
And make it be at WrestleMania?
Why don't they do a Hardy compound match too? Hey, listen, Jeremy Borash is there now. And they said that Jeremy Borash was one of the big masterminds around creating that whole compound fight and like a lot of stuff behind the scenes with Hardy. So I think they brought him in too just to help out with that aspect of it.
Could be, but I don't think they do the compound match. Yeah. There's no way.
I don't think they'll do it at their house, but they might do something similar to it like outside.
If they do, the luster of it is gone.
They did it with Randy Orton and Bray, remember?
Right. And how stupid was that?
That was sort of dumb.
Okay, there you
But
go.
that's because we knew they were mimicking what they were trying to do.
Right. So now you're going to do it a third time?
Yeah, but now you really have the guy here.
No way.
So we'll see what happens there. But and then the other rumors are that Cena is apparently sending feelers out there, and that they will the match after the Raw after Elimination Chamber. They think it's going down where Taker's going to come back, and they're going to start the whole Cena Undertaker feud.
Okay, I could see that.
And honestly, who else is Undertaker going to fight?
Nobody. There's nobody else that they could put in that position to fight.
Yeah, like that's the only other person you can probably put in there. Someone was saying something about Finn Balor. I'm like, no
way, you can't do that.
Like a guy like that's that fast.
It's not. It's not so much that, but Balor was losing for so long. Now he's got some wins. Then you're going to put him against the Undertaker just to kill him again?
Yeah,
it's not going to work. No.
Taker beats Cena, or Cena beats Taker.
If they know what they're doing, they're going to let Undertaker beat Cena.
That's what I would do too.
They can't let it happen again.
Well, he only lost one, right? Because he won.
Yeah, but still, it's not. You got to let the place will riot.
I think so too. All right, so SmackDown Live. I thought first the ratings have been going in the dumps the last 2 to 3 weeks.
But it started off well again.
Yeah.
It was perfect. No in-ring stuff. Bring out Ziggler, Corbin. Corbin gets jumped. Perfect, like, intro. Everything is good. And then they shit the bed again.
Yeah, so I think Ziggler's being added to everything right now fast. 2 reasons.
New contract?
He resigned his new contract, so now they got him locked. That was another big reason I think he was off TV for such a while. And then 2, I think the ratings are dropping, where they ended up saying we got to insert this guy somehow, somewhere, because he does sell. He's in ring wise, but can potentially be the best in ring worker right now in WWE.
He's on SmackDown. Who else is better besides AJ Styles?
Yeah, I mean, and did the both of them fight yet?
No.
That would be a good match. I think they did.
I'm not sure. I don't think so.
But Ziggler, I think, is being inserted for that reason. So it started with Ziggler Corbin. That's what was advertised, and ended up turning around where KO and Zayn attacked Corbin backstage, and Ziggler was waiting in the ring. Then Zayn came out, and then he attacked Zayn on the crowd.
Kevin Owens came in. They started beating him. They started beating him up.
So then they announced that at the end it was going to be Zayn and what's his name, Ziggler, and whoever wins would be added to the main event at FastLane,
right? Which
was already supposed to be Zayn, Owens, and AJ,
right?
Which was supposed to be a 3-way.
Now it's a 5-way.
So hold on, didn't get there yet. So then you've got Charlotte versus Sarah Logan.
She was pissed.
Charlotte was
pissed.
And I think it's because Logan
botched a lot of stuff. Right.
Yep.
The kick to the back was not right.
Yeah.
A couple of moves were not done right. And you could tell that Charlotte had that look on her face that she was pissed.
And that's, I think, another, and I know they brought them up quick because they were going to have that Women's Royal Rumble, but I think they brought up too many of the girls too fast.
I agree.
They shouldn't have brought some of them up. They should have still stayed down. They still had things to learn. And it's just like, why are you bringing them up so quick? It's just not worth it. Just yet. But that match, in my opinion, wasn't that great. Becky came out, went into Charlotte's side. Naomi came out to help out. So it basically was like a Becky, Naomi, Charlotte versus the Riot Squad.
Right.
Ended up being at the end. Shane came out and started talking to Daniel Bryan. And that's when they announced was it KO and Corbin?
Right.
So they announced the KO Corbin, and they said that if Corbin wins,
he's in.
He would be in too. So it was sort of like all right, if Corbin wins, he's going to be in. So it's like, well, hold on a second. This has the potential to be a 5-way. And the moment they announced it, I was like, all right, it's going to be a 5-way. Right. So the other thing is that they're trying to push Corbin hard too.
But it's you have a clusterfuck of a main event now.
But I mean, I don't. What's your? Do you think Corbin? I don't like the guy.
You know what though? Look wise and everything, he's
got the look.
Right. He's got the look to do what he needs to do. He's not that bad in the ring. It's just
Mike.
he's not right. And he's not ready now.
So I don't know, but I mean, they just keep like trying to push the guy.
Right.
You know who else, and I might get criticized for this, that I don't like that much? In-ring wise, he's good, but I think he's sort of really fake and shows it on the mic. Zayn.
Well, that was never his strong point. Zayn was always about what he did in the ring. Right. That Zayn wasn't. He had a mask on.
When he was Generico, he never spoke.
Never spoke a word.
Yeah. See, like Zayn can't talk on the mic, man.
But that's why he's good with Kevin Owens, because Kevin Owens makes up for both of them. So that there's a natural connection there.
Yeah. So then KO ends up fighting Corbin. KO loses. Corbin wins. Ends up being a 4-way. And then you have, which was a funny segment in my opinion, Rude, RKO, and Jinder Mahal.
Terrible.
I liked Jinder's work though.
Jinder is fine.
Like Jinder coming out and saying, Randy Orton, you got voted number 9 by your peers, and this man who just got here 5 months ago is number 5 by your peers. Like, you don't have an issue with that? Like, I really loved the work that Jinder did.
But Orton seemed out of place, right?
He does, and he's got to cut his hair. That looked really awkward.
And especially every time the camera zoomed in on him, you could see all the grays.
Yeah, it's just like, dude, shave it. Like, he had a bald head before, I thought.
Right.
He's got to cut his hair. Hair is not good, but Orton seemed out of it. Rude was okay, but he didn't do much of the talking.
Right, exactly. He's got the belt. What does he care?
And then it ended up what ended up happening?
RKOs to everybody.
To everybody, and that's how it ended up.
Right.
So, in my opinion, then I was thinking like, okay, they're probably going to end up doing a 3-way dance.
Right.
But Jinder's not in it yet, but they may add him eventually.
Right.
But they're probably going to do a 3-way there with Rude, RKO, and Jinder. At least Jinder's getting somewhere. Nowhere on the show was there Dillinger.
No.
And he's number 10.
Right.
Like, that's what I don't get. Like, okay.
Because we wasted 11 or 13 minutes of pancake eating contest.
I forgot. Or did I put? Yeah, no, I didn't put that in there. I forgot about that. So then you have the pancake segment, but that was in the middle.
Right. And smack dab in the middle of the two.
Yeah. So that was the 2 hour or the second hour mark.
Right.
So that, I don't know. That was, I think, a waste of a segment. I think they're killing the New Day now as well, too.
Right. Defying logic.
Yeah. I didn't, my daughter found it funny, but that's about it. I didn't think it was funny. I think it was horrible for New Day. I think it was horrible for everybody around.
Yep. It did nothing. It did absolutely nothing.
And what is it going to establish? That they're going to do a pre-show match before Fastlane? Which is probably going to be Gable and Benjamin versus the New Day, more than likely.
Okay.
So that's all they established.
And they couldn't have done it any other way besides the pancakes?
No, I know. Well, they got that whole pancake thing. All they're doing is pancakes now. I don't like it. I don't like New Day. I'm starting to think that they might need to start breaking those guys up.
They won't do it.
They have
won't do it.
Eventually.
The crowd goes crazy. I'm sure they're selling a shitload of shirts, the boxes with the cereal. It's all.
And they're selling a ton of that.
Right, and we're going to go through this again. Doesn't matter if you're not doing anything in the ring. If you sell merchandise or you have some semblance of speaking ability, you get more time than a guy who can wrestle.
So here's the other thing. Where was Rusev the whole show?
Getting ready for the mixed match challenge.
That's like, come on, man. They're taking guys like Rusev should be getting TV time.
Right.
And then you're going to wonder why he's the hottest thing out there right now, and the creative team is not putting him into SmackDown writing. Where's Vince? And I mean, I don't even know if Triple H is backstage for SmackDown, but where is Vince to be like, hold on a second here. You've got the hottest thing going right now on TV, which is Rusev in wrestling, and you're not going to put him on TV?
You got 2 hours, minus the commercials, minus the pancakes. How much
you could have cut that pancake segment halfway
but they
out.
Won't. Same way they didn't
even
cut
the RKO
guitar.
Rude segment could have been cut short.
Right.
I don't know. And then who's Rusev going to feud with? He doesn't have any feuds.
Nobody right now.
So that's like my thing. Like, and what are you going to build for him for WrestleMania? Like, if I was Rusev right now, I'd be sitting down with Vince, explaining to him, I need to have a conversation about my future. Like, where am I going and what am I going to eventually do? Because right now, I don't feel like I'm anywhere. And
but how is he under contract for how long? You got to find out that as well.
Yeah, I don't know that. And if he's running out of, maybe that's why they have him off TV.
I doubt it.
But yeah, he's sort of new. He should have a decent contract.
Right.
He's on Divas, for Christ's sake. Where's he from?
Bulgaria.
And he has his wedding down there and tries to buy a house and stuff. You know, you watch that. Stop.
No, I don't.
You watch Divas.
No, I do not. No
I always watch it.
Way.
All right, so FastLane. There's really only one match set, and that match is AJ, Zayn, KO, Ziggler, and Corbin now.
And it'll be Charlotte. I'm guessing it'll probably be Charlotte, Becky, Naomi against the Riot Squad.
Yeah, so the rumored matches that are out there right now, one of them is obviously New Day with Benjamin and Gable for Fastlane. 2 is the one you just said, Becky, Naomi, and Charlotte versus the Riot Squad. Or no, yeah, versus the Riot Squad, which I don't like because Charlotte's title should be up if they're going to do anything. Then you were going to have Bobby Roode versus Orton.
Versus Jinder.
But okay, but then they might include Rusev in there. Someone was saying a 4-way with Rusev in that match.
Okay.
So I don't know. I mean, he already won the U.S. title too, so I'm not sure what they would do with that. Usos versus the Bludgeon Brothers. And someone is saying that they're thinking that the Bludgeon Brothers might win. They might put the straps on them. They're a team that needs it.
Okay, I could see that.
Just so they can try to push. But this is what I'm scared of. You're giving the straps to a team right before WrestleMania. So do you really want the Bludgeon Brothers to have the straps? You know what I mean?
No.
That's what I'm worried about.
Or is the WrestleMania match Gable Benjamin against the Usos?
For Mania?
Yep.
I don't. They already did that too. I would want to see that.
It's not that bad of a match.
It's not, but I don't know if I would want to see that again.
Well, there's a lot that we wouldn't want to see.
Yeah. So then you got no, I'm sorry. Then it was gonna be Becky Lynch and Naomi versus Liv Morgan and Logan, and it would have been Ruby Riott versus Charlotte. This is Fastlane. And then we already said the AJ. So here's my monkey wrench. Ziggler beats AJ for the title at Fastlane and then throws a swerve in there. So now it's Nakamura and Ziggler, which they already fought, but then somehow you put AJ back into it and have it into a 3-way.
But why would you?
And he made a promo on his last promo.
He wants his WrestleMania moment.
And now that he signed the contract, you put the strap on him and he has his WrestleMania moment with the heavyweight title, but then you maybe have Nakamura win it.
How do you possibly?
That way Nakamura never pins AJ.
Okay, but we're going to go through this again. It's WrestleMania. How do you possibly not give the people
what they want?
At least one time. Yeah. AJ Nakamura by themselves. Nobody in the ring, no third person, nothing.
Have them redo New Japan Pro Wrestling
and give
match.
them 30 minutes.
Yeah.
And let them show the world why they are considered top 5, top 10 in the world at what they do.
Yeah, we'll see.
If you're going to give Triple H 10 minutes to walk down the aisle, right?
Yeah, with the whole
with the whole, because he's going to have something set up. If he's wrestling or whatever, he's going to get the whole performance to come down. You're going to start diluting all the time with that, and you're not going to give them 30 minutes to rifle it off.
What are your feelings on Hogan wanting to come back?
Why not?
And do you think they'll bring him back for Mania then? You need the star power too.
They should. If they're ever going to bring him back, you bring him back for WrestleMania. Make him the ambassador or whatever the hell. Like who was last year? The New Day?
It was New Day.
The hosts of it. So make Hogan this year.
So you have Flair vouching for him too, but Hogan's trying to get back in. So that's going to be interesting to see what happens. Hall of Fame. Why were they throwing Ivory in there?
Because they're running out of people.
Yeah, it's like, come on, man. Like, can't you eventually just put Chyna in? Like, I know they don't want to because of all that. But like, she deserves to be in there.
They will eventually. I think they're just going to let it die down a little bit.
Do you think Ivory deserves to be in there? No, my personal opinion.
But every year you're going to pick a girl. You don't pick a woman.
Yeah, but that's wrong. Then you're diminishing the Hall of Fame
and
what it's about.
That's been the argument all along, is that they're inducting too many people a year because they need to make this a 2-hour show, and you need so many people. And here lies the problem now, that pretty soon everybody's just going to start getting inducted.
Yeah, there's going to be guys that never even won titles that are getting inducted. And it's like, come on. Then you have the rumor, which this I would like. There's rumors that Jeff Jarrett are coming in.
Okay, but Jeff Jarrett transcends not only the WWE but just wrestling in general.
And
his father,
and he was in WCW too,
right?
So he did establish some stuff in WCW.
His father was one of the greatest wrestling promoters of all time. So the name Jarrett is not just the double J that you saw with the white outfit and
the guitar.
and the guitar and everything. There's like lineage there, and there's history behind him to say, okay, Jarrett's going to go in. He technically, if you really analyze it, he deserves to go.
So now you got Goldberg, Dudley Boyz, Ivory, and then Jeff Jarrett's not announced, but apparently there's inside people that are saying that they have been hearing rumblings about Jeff Jarrett, and that he has been there's been talks they've been talking with him, put it that way, and everyone knows that they've been talking to him for the simple fact of getting him into the Hall of Fame. So eventually that's going to end up happening, and he's going to be getting entered into the Hall of Fame. So WrestleMania right now, you've got at least that we know of, AJ Nakamura, or at least that we think. So this is a set card for WrestleMania that we're going into, unless they throw Swerve and maybe somehow throw Ziggler in there. But I don't know if that's going to happen. Cena, Taker's being talked about heavily now, and that's obviously going to start the Raw after Elimination Chamber. So we'll see and keep our eyes on to see if Taker shows up the day after Raw or the day after Elimination Chamber. Brock and Reigns, more than likely.
Reigns winning.
Oh, you think he's going to win it for the title?
Yep, I think it's time.
And then who takes it from Reigns, you think? Or he's going to carry it for a while?
They're going to give it to, in my opinion, this is, like we said earlier, this is it for Reigns.
And I can see that, because then if they're bringing in Lashley, then Lashley starts a program with Lesnar.
And the belt's not involved, and you can let them have at it.
And there's also rumors that potentially they may end up going to Bellator, and they may do an MMA match with Bellator, and they'll both be under contract with Vince still.
Okay.
Or if they do it in the UFC, but I don't know if Dana White wants Brock back in the UFC with the steroid stuff.
Right. But okay, but you can understand if the belt is not on Brock's waist, there's a lot of things that you can do, and it's all flowing through everything else because Reigns has the belt.
And how does that work, now that I was thinking about that? If you fail a steroid test in the UFC, how do you not get retested in the WWE and you don't get punished?
Depends on when you get tested.
But it's like, hold on a second.
But it's a double standard. We all know that.
Yeah.
You know that there's other people that are getting away with it.
So then we're thinking the three-way with Asuka, Jax, Nia Jax, and Bliss. Charlotte with who? Carmella?
Does Carmella try to cash in?
Well, this is what I thought, and that came up a pretty decent idea. What, you never had this happen before, too. What if you actually do have Carmella and Charlotte fight? Charlotte pins Carmella, but then Carmella attacks her at the end of the match and then cashes it in right away and then pins her.
Okay, it makes sense.
And then all of a sudden you have Charlotte with the WrestleMania moment because she defended her, but then Carmella had her, and it's a mimic of Rollins when he came in and cashed it in his WrestleMania.
Which okay, you could, but that makes for a good match and a good story.
Yeah, and then they can feud afterwards as well,
right,
too.
Exactly right.
So you can do that, because there were people saying that, well, what if she cashes it in? Someone was saying that she may even hop over to the Raw, and after the Elimination Chamber match, she was going to come and cash it out and then go from there. But can she do that? I thought that she could only cash it in on SmackDown.
I'm not sure.
So I don't know, because I thought that, and that's the other thing we got to talk about. Don't forget, I thought that pay-per-view was SmackDown specific, because they didn't have a briefcase for Raw this year.
Right.
So that's what I was assuming, but that's one of my theories for WrestleMania. And then obviously, two matches. Then the Rousey Rock, Triple H and Stephanie, that's your pick. And then I really think it's going to go Shane and Daniel Bryan.
No doubt about it.
I think that's done. And I mean, whatever they're discussing with Daniel Bryan, maybe they just tell him, hey, just take it easy and don't go nuts, but you can still wrestle. Just don't do anything crazy.
No, let Shane do all the crazy stuff anyway. So you can get away. You can still set up the match and let Shane do all the ridiculous stuff and just let Daniel Bryan do his thing. And we talked last week, let him do a street fight. If they do the street fight, you eliminate a lot of the in-ring stuff, and they can just be bouncing around in the crowd for a little bit.
So what is the new word that's out is that apparently, was it after Mania that they said? Well, the one rumor was, I heard they were going to do the draft at Backlash.
I heard that, and then I also heard that they're going to start going to mixed pay-per-views.
Yes, and then
co-branded pay-per-views.
Yeah, they were going to still keep Raw, and SmackDown, but that they were going to do Raw and SmackDown pay-per-views like it used to be before. But the problem with that is that you won't have enough time for everyone, because now you're not going to have time for everybody on a pay-per-view. One of the biggest reasons I heard this is happening is because of ratings, first and foremost, on the pay-per-views as well, not just on Raw and SmackDown, but I heard the ratings on pay-per-views have been very bad, and that's why they've been thinking of just putting it like old school back together again. But if they do that, then I'm really starting to contemplate that they may potentially then stop this whole brand thing and go back to the way it was before.
Well, the problem is too, is you got to remember that every Monday versus a Raw pay-per-view, there's really no difference. The matches, let's go back 4 weeks and see how many times is Rollins, Jordan, Reigns against the Bar in some combination. Every week you get that same match. Now they wrestle on pay-per-view, big deal. You've already seen the match 5 times. So you've got to try to mix something up now because it just gets stale.
What this is, I know I complained specifically before that you don't, back in the day, feuds used to last a long time. So you used to have a feud and the feud would last like 4 months, 5 months.
With the culmination at a pay-per-view.
Exactly. And they never really would touch each other unless just one guy would beat up the other guy.
You jump, the bad guys jump the good guy. The good guy would try to get some revenge, maybe do a tag team match. He'd get a partner to help him. Right, exactly. And let it all develop and then have it, all come to a close at a pay-per-view.
But now I sort of don't like the fact that sometimes they do angles like for 2 weeks and then it's done.
Hot shotting. And
it's just like, I don't know, like where before they would at least tell a story. Now they don't have the time to tell that story. So that's what I don't get sometimes, but regardless of what's going to happen, I don't know. I think going to a dual pay-per-view is not good. I think they should keep it the way it was, where every quarter they have like a Royal Rumble, Survivor Series, WrestleMania, SummerSlam, and those are the dual branded ones. And maybe run them 4 hours, and then do the other ones later on, brand specific. Maybe here's the thing I thought of. If they're worried about that, then why don't they do 2 pay-per-views a month? Because you know how some of them are once a month? Do 2 pay-per-views a month.
That's a lot of TV to have to produce. That's a lot. And remember, you have so many.
You got too much talent.
Too many wrestlers, and you're trying to develop all this, and it's just impossible to do. And you can't just keep giving the people the same thing over and over and over. You go back and look back in the day what would happen. And not only that, but that's why the house shows are not drawing a lot of money as well. Because
I think they got to stop those.
No, why not? Every little bit let's show you what happened 2 weeks ago or last Saturday at this house show where this happened, to set up an angle.
Yeah.
Remember how they used to do it back in the old days? Gordon Soley would come out and go, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to take you to the VFW Armory in Florida. And, Ole Anderson attacked Dusty Rhodes, and the people are like, holy fuck, I got to drive. Right. And I got to drive to Florida to see what's going to happen because Dusty's going to want to beat his ass. And now you start developing this story where people want to see it. People are interested. Dusty's working, the magical promo. Whoever's on the other side does his thing, and it's going to accumulate at the Omni in a cage and whatever. And now the people have a vested interest in what's going to happen.
I think that with the way wrestling is going, I don't think too many people are going to be going to house shows anymore. So I think house shows need to be abolished. It'll save them millions of dollars in trucks, crew, transportation, everything. I think they strictly should stay on TV where it's at. Raw, SmackDown, do 2 pay-per-views. Now, think about it. Pay-per-views have been watered down too. Pay-per-views, in my opinion, now are like the Raws we used to watch in the Nitros back in the day.
Correct. But you got to remember that a house show right now, to me, equals practice for them because they don't have, you know what I mean? House shows are for them to go and, hey, let's try this and let me try this on you and you do this and you do that and get ready for what they're going to actually do on Raw. In my opinion, at least, I think to them, a house show equals practice run.
Yeah, but I guess everyone's not in Orlando all the time, but I think it'll give people days off too, because right now, the way a wrestler's schedule is usually Monday, Tuesday, you're either at Raw or SmackDown.
And then a weekend.
Wednesday, Thursday, you're off. Friday, Saturdays usually house shows, and then sometimes on Sundays you have pay-per-views,
Right.
and sometimes house shows. So your 2 days off are basically Wednesday, Thursday, and then the rest you're either. I mean, and if you're a Raw wrestler, that you're going to SmackDown because it's in the same thing, but you're not really wrestling; you're just showing up. So Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday off, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. I mean, at this point, you can give at least some of these guys some time off. Run SmackDown 3 hours.
SmackDown should be 3 hours. I agree.
So have Raw 3 hours, run SmackDown 3 hours. Then don't do any house shows. I mean, and if you're going to do a house show, do them at a smaller level. Do them maybe only Saturday nights. Don't do them on a Friday. Give a wrestler a Wednesday, Thursday. I mean, think about it too. Look how many wrestlers are getting injured.
But that's a sign of the times, though. Them trying to do more and more stuff.
Yeah.
You know, the bodies are different. The moves that they're doing are different.
What does the Hardy Boys call them? Spot monkeys.
Spot monkeys.
He's like spot monkeys, like the
Young Bucks.
The Young Bucks.
Speaking of that, how awesome are those Ring of Honor cards going to be that are coming through?
The super card.
Right. The Honor, or whatever they're calling it.
I don't know. Try pulling them up.
I think it's called Honor Rising.
Yeah, try pulling them up. And what? Any updates on that Chicago show?
Nothing yet. We know that the WrestleMania weekend, Ring of Honor is going to have the super card.
That's going to be good.
That's going to be nice.
And that's the Kenny Omega, Cody
Rhodes match, right? And then
where's it going to be? In New Orleans?
Yeah, somewhere within vicinity of where they're going to be.
Man, we should have done that. Yeah, it would have been fun. Are they ever going to do WrestleMania in Chicago? That's another thing I thought. I remember me and Levi were talking about this like back in 2015.
Yeah, but where are you going to do it?
Well, if they're going to New York, they announced that they were going to go to New York next year. That's going to be Kold too.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to be in the Meadowlands or something. So it's just like the new Meadowlands. But I mean, I know it's freezing here. If you do it, I mean, do it first Aprils. You know what I mean? It's going to be maybe 50s, 60s.
No way, dude. The Cubs open in April, remember? And you're freezing.
I think they should give it a shot, man. This is a wrestling town. You know how much you can sell. How many people fit in Soldier Field?
70,000.
And then plus whatever you fill up in the bottom.
Okay.
I think having WrestleMania at Soldier Field would be pretty good. I mean, I'm trying to think where else can you have it that's indoor. We don't have any big indoor arena here.
No.
Like the UC, how much does the UC fit?
20,000.
Yeah, that's not that much.
Right.
Rosemont, obviously, definitely not.
Not even.
Remember
close.
when they did?
We were just talking about that with Hop Hop at the office.
They had Stone Cold with the blood.
Well, no, they also had the original one was what at WrestleMania 2 or 3, where they had the fridge in the Battle Royal. Remember, the fridge was in the Battle Royal.
Yes.
And then the main event was
I just remember the last one I remember.
The British Bulldogs against Valentine and
how come Pete Short's in here?
We just talked about this the other day. That was when they had the WrestleMania from 3 different locations. Remember?
Yes.
Madison Square Garden, the Rosemont Horizon at the time,
and
the LA Forum, the old Forum.
I liked though the last one that they did there was the one with Bret Hart, Stone Cold, where he was just
in the sharpshooter and bleeding. Yeah,
he was just bleeding out. That was like classic. But they won't do them anymore because they're looking for more seating. And there's really no other arena around here. Like I'm trying to even think. I know the where the Colts play fits a lot.
Yeah, they have had a WrestleMania there. I think.
I think they had a pay-per-view. I don't think they had a WrestleMania there.
No, that's not Lucas Oil Field.
Yeah, I think it is Lucas Oil. But that, like, what if you bring them there? I mean, I guess people can drive there from Chicago. Trying to think. There's no place in Wisconsin that's indoors.
And you're going north on top of it. So if you try to do anything outdoors, it's even colder as you go north.
Detroit Superdome, but that's, I mean, I guess you can drive up there too, and that's been done too. Yeah, I mean, I think the only place you can really do it around here, if anything, unless you decide to do, unless you want to do it a little bit later in August,
you push it off,
or April,
you push it off to mid-April maybe, and see if you can get away with it.
Get like a 60-degree day in there somewhere, and just hope to hell it's nice weather out there.
It's not snowing,
and it's not snowing. That'd be interesting. But no, I seriously think, or like, why are they doing SummerSlams in New York all the time now?
Probably they signed an agreement with Barclays Center.
Like they have to do one of those big pay-per-views in Chicago, I think.
Yeah.
So like
So now they're coming. When is it? In March? No, before WrestleMania or right after. They're coming to the United Center.
Yeah, but that's a house show,
right? So that's probably a test run. Maybe to see. Maybe to do a pay-per-view there.
Well, you can't do a SummerSlam to fit. You can't do it there. If you do a SummerSlam, you're doing it in Soldier Field.
Right.
So if you can possibly do a Survivor Series and or a Royal Rumble in the UC, which I never understood why they never went to the UC and why they always went to Rosemont.
Probably the contract they signed.
So, I mean, what's the next Chicago pay-per-view?
Who knows?
I don't think they even have it up. But yeah, no, it would be, we got to get tickets for that too. So it would be interesting. All right. We're running on fumes here because it's like 8:04. So slow week, didn't have much going on. Apologize for the beginning of the show. Hold on.
Money in the Bank, June 17th, Money in the Bank.
Where at?
Here.
No, where?
Doesn't say.
Rosemont or UC?
I'm guessing
Rosemont.
The Rosemont, but so they're going to have TakeOver, NXT TakeOver Chicago, and then Money in the Bank, June 16th and 17th.
Oh, so TakeOver is going to be here too?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Ooh, that's going to be pretty interesting. I'd like to see that.
I think I'd rather go to that.
Yeah. So obviously, again, like we were saying, apologize for the beginning of the show with that static and all that stuff. It's not the mics, it's not the cable, it's something else. I think we figured it out finally, so we should be looking good, but we're okay now. And we're
it's the amount of awesomeness that we're reaching that's ruining the equipment.
Yes, so we can't invite Hop here anymore. Or he shouldn't come here because he'll ruin it. So we hopefully we'll be okay from now on. Again, I need everyone to make sure they go to YouTube, subscribe to us. I think last time I was doing over here, it's actually under here, I think. So subscribe to us. The more subscribers we get, I want to get on the front page of YouTube. Go to our iTunes. We're getting heavy traction on iTunes as of late. So please continue to go to iTunes. Give us 5-star rating. Subscribe to our iTunes channel. Go to, you can listen to us on Stitcher Radio, iTunes, or TuneIn Radio, Podbean, Overcast, Castbox, Google Play. We're everywhere for podcasts where you can listen to us. Also, go on our social media. Twitter is @WCSN312, Facebook @WCSN312, and we're on Instagram. We post all our shows on Facebook and Twitter, so you guys can catch us there. And then obviously here on YouTube, you can see us live on Fridays and Wednesdays. Fridays is CSCR, Wednesdays is WrestleTalk. Tonight's NXT. I got a Big Show shirt on. I got a wrestling shirt. Hey, I bought a Rusev Day shirt. I'm going to be wearing it when I get it. So I have a different wrestling shirt for every Wednesday show. Eventually, they're going to run out. But Friday, Wild Bill will be with us. We're going to have a full house. Jackman will be here. Sammy the Bull will be here. And let's hope Tom Chris, the intern, doesn't mess something up. So hopefully we'll make it on time. I don't know if Tom Chris was watching us earlier. I don't know if he's there anymore.
And next week, I'm going to drag Hop here if I have to tie him to my truck and pull him here.
Yes, and we'll have Short. He'll be the sign guy from ECW. We're going to make signs for him, so as we're talking, he'll be in the background.
The silence behind the violence.
And he'll just be having signs so you guys can read them as we're announcing and stuff. So we will be back next Wednesday, guys. Thank you again for me. I don't have anything else, Bill.
All good.
I will see you guys. We'll see you on Friday, CSCR, 7 p.m. Top Guys out.
Later.